So people, we're looking at professionals versus amateurs. We've got some drills in this video that you haven't seen before, and we're looking at evidence-based information, evidence-based material. Now, to start this off, when we're looking at an unbelievable downswing, we're going to be technical here without being mechanical. So I'm going to draw a line here from the shoulder into the belt buckle with McElroy on the right of the screen. Let's have a look at that. 42 degrees. Remember I said that, all right? Now on the left of the screen, shoulder into the belt buckle, 40 degrees. Now let's look at the perfect delivery with the club coming down. Now these great players are just really in almost the exact position every single time, regardless of size, body type or swing style. The club coming in behind the hands and just slightly on this side of 12 o'clock. Now if you don't use flight scope or TrackMan, but you're getting this position in video, you're going to hit great shots. Now it doesn't matter, even if we've got the high right elbow here, or we've got the cupped wrist, these skilled players will still bring the club down in the same position, because to propel a golf ball down the line, you have to have the right delivery. Right? You have to be able to get the club face in a great position. Now that wrist is going to be straight. We're going to see that club face on slightly on this side of 12 o'clock. And let's have a look just when we get to the top at this number. And what are your numbers from the shoulder into the belt buckle? So look at this, 40 degrees, 41 degrees. Okay, it's an important thing to notice here. If whether the swing is high, I'll show you a couple of amateurs just in a second. If the swing's high, like Tom Watson, with the high arms at the top, but we're going to be seeing numbers really, really similar. We're seeing 44 degrees there from the top, right? And he's going to bring the club down, and the wrist is going to be flat, and it's going to come in behind the hand. See that wrist there? Now, let's have a look at some amateur players before we have a look at some really, really great drills. Now, unfortunately, with the amateurs, so many of you, I don't know if you know what your numbers are here, but if you reach out to me for a swing analyst, this is what we're looking at. We're looking at averages. The closer you get, the better you hit. 57 degrees. This is illustrating a wall here, people. And unfortunately, tipping it over, club comes in front of the hands, into the wall. And a lot of the time, we're seeing this position over and over. Now, there are some great drills where you can really improve your golf really, really quickly. We've got 55 degrees here. Shoulders too flat. We're going to tip it over and into the wall. Now, let's have a look at some incredible information here. Stay tuned, because if you move yourself into these positions, you're going to improve your ball striking and get close to these proven positions to help you propel a golf ball more consistently down the line. So people, right, we're looking at a really interesting area in the downswing here, a big visual picture that's going to help a lot of you bring the club down in the right direction, shallow out the shaft a little bit, but it's also, we're going to talk about a couple of things for advanced players here, holding better angles coming down. Now, if you can imagine, right, you guys are right at the camera there. I'm going to be talking about a position around about 30 degrees in this direction, okay, over this way. Now, have a look at this. If we get to the top of the swing, and if you can imagine, I'll take my left hand away, I had a dart in my hand, and the dart board's over there, okay, 30 degrees to the right, my right of the camera. Now, if I'm going to throw this dart, I'm going to keep the angle in the right wrist, but this is the direction, this is the thought I want you to think about. I want the dart to be thrown there and not out in this direction. Okay, we don't want this internal, this arm wrestle move where we're coming down. I want the dart thrown out in this direction. And this, it's not a throwing motion. We're not casting it away. But what we're going to be doing is holding the angle in the right wrist. And it's just a direction. And you could think that when you're hitting a golf ball. That's the great thing. I love big, clear pictures, something that you can go, oh, I'm going to go and do that. Now, when you film this, you will see the club will shallow more, because of the direction will help shallow. Now, the other movement we're going to be looking at here is getting the right shoulder to work down, getting these lats to pull down so that you guys can hold on to your angles a little bit better, rather than a lot of you who extend a little too early with this right arm. So if you can get your lats to pull down, if you get this feeling for a lot of you, this right side's moving, shoulders moving down, and you're throwing the dart into the dartboard, that's 30 degrees right of where the camera is directly behind you. It's a shallowing effect. It's a great thing to do in your golf swing. I really want you to give it a try. It's a basic, old school, clear thought, but they're the things that we often need to get the club, to deliver that club into the back of the ball on the correct path, the correct plane, and right direction. So people, right, great drill, great feelings here, really great visual effect. Let's get stuck into this, because I've shown a lot of people that I've taught this over the years, and it really helps their elbows work better. They notice the wrist alignment, setting off certain sensations, also just the general delivery and direction of the golf club. Let's have a look here. What we do is we set up about a foot width away from the wall. okay? Now, I'll try not to hit the light. There's actually a light here, but turn the club around, the grip's on the bottom. Swing up to the top, and you're just going to miss the wall, all right? And then you're going to position this grip on the wall. Now, you're going to slide down a little bit and just stop in certain positions. Now this, when you take a look, you'll feel, for me, you can feel like the elbows are really pushing together. You see the angle in the back of my right wrist, and I can see that the left wrist is flexed. Do it again. It's incredible because you can just create some amazing sensations for your own game, right? You need feels. That's what we need. We don't get ourselves in these great positions up to the top, positioned on the wall, coming down, and then you can start to get a feeling of where that needs to be. And it exaggerates it slightly, but we all know that these positions, bringing the club into a flex lead wrist position with this club head coming in behind the hands, it's such a great place to be in your golf swing. And then you can imagine that there's a wall there and you're sliding it down, applying faster practice swings. This, people, gives you sensations you wouldn't normally have. And this is what it's all about when we're using exaggeration drills, is to look down, feel, good players are in this position. What are they doing that we're not? How can I improve my game? How can I get closer to these positions? This wall drill, by moving up and down, supplies these sensations for you. Positions and movements that you wouldn't normally have, move us in the right direction to hit the ball much more effectively. So guys, right, the hanger, this thing is unbelievable. It really has helped my downswing shallow, and it's given me a much better delivery into the golf ball. And what you do is it takes a couple of minutes to set this thing up. And you start off in your address position, and once you've got a good setup, I like to set it up in a way I get like a finger width here away from my forearm. Now, on the way back, what you do is you let it rest against your forearm. And when it doesn't, the left wrist is too cupped, but when it rests against your forearm, the club head gets in a really good position. Up the top of your swing, it presses. This is what's helped me a lot. It stays connected here, and it stays connected into your downswing. And that's what really helps to shallow out that club, right? So you can feel it. What I do like is through the ball, I want it to, when I release it, I want it to touch my other forearm because we've got shafting, but when I release it underneath, I get a neutral style release, and you know we've talked about that on many videos, lead wrist extension through the ball, right hand working underneath. So in the backswing, or in your setups not touching, then it rests and touches, and on the way down it stays connected, and this is the part that I really, really like. Coming down and then getting this right wrist then to move underneath, and you can feel it actually change and it touching the right forearm here. Wow, this is unbelievable for chipping. We're going to do more and more videos on this thing because it's something that I believe is, you can experiment with it. You can set it up in different positions, different parts of your game. For me, it's an absolute no-brainer because after I've hit 10 balls, I can go back to my club and I can feel what I was actually doing. I think I could actually go on the course and just about, this is no joke, play better if I had them all on my clubs. It does get us into that lead wrist position that is just a shallower. It helps us get the club head in a good position. Once it stays, once you flip too early, it leaves the wrist here, and so you can move into impact and have that in contact. Then after impact, it leaves and touches the other guys, the hanger. In the description underneath, there's discount. This is an absolute no-brainer and will shallow out and give you a much, much better delivery position into the golf ball. So, ladies and gentlemen, I have a great little training aid here for you. It's a noodle. That's what they call them in Australia. It's one of those foam things that kids use in the swimming pool. They're called different things all around the world, I know that. But what I've done is I've just cut off a third of it, and I stuck a shaft through it. You can use a tour stick, and I've just set it up in a position, and what it does is it helps us gauge if we're coming from the outside or coming down too steep. So I'll show you how to use it. I've set it up in a position. What we do is we take the setup, right? Okay. Now we rewind so that the club is parallel to the ground, and I've got my right elbow rested on my hip, okay? So we get it directly across over from the club head, or as close to that as possible. World Class Golf instructors improving golfers between 4 and 11 shots.
Your swing analyst video is the same as this YouTube format, except with your swing on the screen. It goes between 15 to 30 minutes with tailored drills and exercises, a higher level of instruction at a cheaper price. 1,300 videos, 75 separate series. Reach out to us in the chat room and get on the path of playing your best golf.
Now, it can be obviously when the hands are coming from the inside, we're not going to hit it. When the hand's more level, but if we do tend to come over, we're going to hit this thing. Obviously there's not much damage done, but it really gives us a good sensation. And for your own practice, once you've set it up, you can do lots of little practice swings. You'll get little sensations of the elbow leading in, or the connection of the arms against the body, and all those type of things. But it's really, really a good drill. So I'll just hit one in there and see if we can get past it. Okay, solid strike. And we can see that I got past it without coming over the top. Or it really is a fantastic little drill. It just costs a couple of dollars, and we can use it, and I'll show it in videos and other videos, how we can sometimes use two and position things in different positions so that we can get feedback and know that our entry is shallowing or it is coming from the inside.